What's up, sports fans? It's Fry here. Welcome. Very exciting time, the first ever YouTube video. I'm going to be celebrating March Madness, making all my picks. I did a preview on Sports by Fry earlier in the week, but I've made a couple of changes over the last week or so. There's a couple of teams I wasn't really happy with, but I'm going to be diving in, picking, hopefully, the eventual champion of the 2018 NCAA Tournament. Make sure that you check out as well, I did a post today on Sports by Fry about the best individual performances in March Madness ever. So make sure you check that out, and hopefully I get all my selections right, win myself tons of money. Here goes nothing. All right, so as you guys can see, ESPN to do my bracket picks. I think Yahoo does one as well. Probably most big mainstream sports websites, whatever you call them, do their own pick your bracket, but I always use ESPN, so I'm sticking with my guns. I'm going to break it down. I like to do each region one by one. Everyone's different, so that's how I'm going to do it. Hopefully, my picks earn me. I think there's a car up for grabs, so that'd be nice. I'll take the car. All right, so I'm going to start in the South region. The number one overall seed, Virginia. They've actually just lost one of their really good bench guys in DeAndre Hunter, not RJ. I think his brother's name's RJ Hunter. Plays for the Celtics. I'm going to be probably picking them to upset UMBC. You can probably be forgiven for not knowing who UMBC is, because until I started doing this podcast, this video, I have absolutely no idea who they are. So they're going to win their first round match. Next one, we got Creighton versus Kansas State. Picking the Blue Jays to get the W there. Kentucky versus Davidson. I'm really excited for this match. This might be one of the best ones of the tournament. I love Davidson Aldridge. There's no Steph Curry, but he's pretty dope. Kentucky's got some pretty good young dudes, as they always do. A couple of freshmen that'll probably go pro, Gilgeous-Alexander and Kevin Knox, who I really hope ends up in a Cavaliers uniform. So it's tough, but I think I'm probably going to side with Kentucky. But don't miss that match if you watch one. Make sure it's that one. Arizona, University of Buffalo, you're going to get done there. Miami versus Loyola Chicago. Loyola Chicago? Something like that. Miami's actually been probably one of the big disappointments this year. I thought that they were going to go on a massive tear, but they've been pretty average. So my first upset is them losing in the first round. They're missing Bruce Brown Jr., He's got a stress fracture in his leg. He's a really good pro prospect, so all signs are pointing to Miami tanking it and getting knocked out in the first round. Next up, Tennessee versus Wright State. Wright State? Yep, Wright State. There you go. Tennessee's going to get the win there. Nevada versus Texas. This is another first round match. Should be pretty good. I'm probably sided with Texas earlier in the week and then flipped back to Nevada. But I'm sticking with Mo Bamba and Texas getting the job done. I think that'll be Shaka Smart's first ever March Madness win, which would be pretty cool. Also, just a quick side note, Kevin Durant and JaVale McGee have got a wager on the first game there, because they used to, KD's a Longhorn and JaVale McGee used to play for Nevada, so they've got some bet going on. So make sure you Google that. I can't remember the exact results, but that should be pretty funny. Cincinnati will defeat Georgia State as well in the first round. They're one of the real sleepers this tournament, Cincinnati, so watch out for them. All right, pretty vanilla winners to the first round. Virginia's going to take down Creighton. Virginia's just too good. Even though they've lost DeAndre Hunter, they're too good to lose to Creighton. This is going to be an awesome game. Hopefully, Davidson doesn't upset Kentucky. There'll be tons of pro prospects that could go to the league in that bracket, in that match there, so make sure that you tune into that one. Arizona's getting the W though. Sorry, Wildcats fans. Next round, even though Loyola Chicago beat Miami, they will not be beating Tennessee. And then Cincinnati over Texas in the round of 32. So pretty boring, but I've got the top 4 seeds in the South region advancing to the Elite 8, Sweet 16. The Sweet 16. Then I've got Virginia versus Arizona. Now, originally, when I did my article, I said that Virginia would win this one, but I've changed my mind. I'm tipping Arizona. After all the crap that they've been through this year, I reckon that they're just going to come out firing. DeAndre Ayton's probably going to have about 40 rebounds and 78 points. Maybe slight exaggeration, but something in the ballpark. So they will be winning that matchup. And then Tennessee versus Cincinnati, flip a coin. They're both pretty solid teams. I don't think that either of them can really go on a run to win it. But I will be siding with Tennessee. So that means Arizona and Tennessee will meet for the prized place in the Final Four. And I have the Wildcats advancing. So now it's time to look to the East. And the East division it's pretty boring, to be honest. There's a couple of heavy hitters and names there, but if you choose one of the regions to kind of ignore and half-heartedly follow, this is definitely the one. Villanova, at the start of the year, I thought that they would win it all. I predicted they're going to be the best team in college basketball, and they still might be, to be honest. So I have them winning their first round matchup. Virginia Tech versus Alabama. That'll be a pretty interesting match. Alabama has a guy you may or may not have heard of called Colin Sexton, who will probably single-handedly win a game or two for the Crimson Tide. So I'm tipping them to win. A lot of people think that because they have an average team, they'll flame out against Virginia Tech, but I'm sticking with Colin Sexton. West Virginia versus Murray State. I've loved West Virginia all season long. I don't really know why. I just like the way they go about their business. Play good, hard defense. Javon Carter's a bit of a bulldog, so I have them shutting down Murray State. As cool as it is that Marshall's made the tournament, they play Wichita State and they will not be winning that game. After that, I don't know why, but I've got this weird feeling that Florida's going to go on a run. I've predicted that they would go to the SEC tournament, the conference tournament at the start of the year. I just predicted they'd make the final, but yeah, for no real reason. I like the way they play. They look solid, so I'm sticking with my gut, picking them for a win. Texas Tech will beat Stephen F. Austin. Arkansas against Butler. Butler always seems to do weirdly well in the tournament, no matter how well they do throughout the year, so I'm sticking with them. And finally, Purdue over... Who the hell is that? Wait for it. I don't know. Purdue's going to win anyway. All right, so down to 8 in the East region. A couple of upsets I've picked, but even though Colin Sexton could go full Kemba Walker and win against Nova, I don't really see it happening. I like the Wildcats in that one. Wichita State versus West Virginia. This is another one that could be a bit of a coin flip, but like I said, I've liked the Mountaineers all year long, so I'm giving them another W. Florida against Texas Tech. That weird gut feeling that I've got Florida pulling out a win there. And then Butler, Purdue. This game could actually be really, really good. Purdue's a bit underrated as a potential team to win it all. So, yeah, I'm going to tip them to make the Sweet 16. Okay, so now we're stuck with Villanova, West Virginia. I do like the Mountaineers, but Villanova's just too good. They could probably win it all, let's be honest. Florida, Purdue. I have Purdue winning this one. My gut feeling only gives Florida 2 wins there. And then finally, in the Elite 8, Villanova versus the Boilermakers. The Wildcats probably are the better team. Like I said, they could be the best team in the whole tournament. Don't sleep on the Boilermakers. What a weird nickname, Boilermakers. Don't sleep on them. They could just pull it out, but I'm sticking with Nova. That takes me down to the West. The West is a weird division. It's got Xavier as the number 1 seed, who everyone kind of has made the assumption that they're the worst 1 seed in the tournament, but they went like 28-5 this year, so they're no easy beats. Texas Southern will not beat them in round 1, so I'm giving them the win. Missouri versus Florida State. I've always liked the Seminoles, but Missouri gets back Michael Porter, who, if you don't know, has been injured for the majority of the year with I think he had back surgery and then a few other bits and pieces. So he played in the SEC tournament, looked okay, but I think after having the last week or two to kind of prep and get ready for the tournament, he'll be good to go. So I'm giving them the win. My boys, the Ohio State Buckeyes, going up against the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. as cool as the name is, I have to stick with Ohio State. I'm not confident though. Don't be surprised if that's every year, for those that don't know, there seems to be an upset where the 12th seed beats the 5th seed, and looking at all of them, that's probably the one. So if you're a betting man, you might want to get on the Jackrabbits. Gonzaga versus UNGC, who are also not relevant. So I've got the Bulldogs winning. South Dakota State Uni against Houston. Houston's actually been pretty good this year. I love one of their dudes they've got named Rob Gray. He just seems to score tons of buckets. So, no, you know what? I'm sticking with my guns. I predicted that they'd flame out in the first round on Monday when I did my preview, so I'm going to stick with it. Houston will lose to South Dakota State. Better make sure that's right. South Dakota State, surely. San Diego. Sorry, San Diego. Or San Diego. Montana versus Michigan. Michigan's everyone's favourite, like sleeper to win it all from the 3rd seed, so they will not be losing in round 1 at least. Providence will defeat Texas A&M. And finally, the reigning champion North Carolina Tar Heels will also defeat their first round opponent. So a few first round upsets there. Xavier versus Missouri in the round of 32. That could be where Xavier bows out, but I will not be picking Missouri. I just don't have enough faith in the Porter brothers. And Michael Porter, he's only just come back, so he's not fully healthy yet. So he should have stayed out all season and rested for the draft, but that's another story. Ohio State, if they do manage to get past the Jackrabbits, will lose to Gonzaga, unfortunately. Michigan will defeat San Diego, not South Dakota State. And the Tar Heels will also win their round of 32 matchup. So once again, boring top 4 seeds making the Sweet 16, but this is where the fun begins. I have Xavier losing to Gonzaga, so the 4 seed beats the 1 seed, and I also have Michigan beating North Carolina, so the reigning champs don't even make the Elite 8. They're not as good as last year. They went on a bit of a run in the ACC tournament, but they will not be going on a big run in the NCAA tournament. So that puts the Wolverines up against Gonzaga Bulldogs for a spot in the Final Four. That could really go either way. That's an awesome potential matchup. But I'm sticking with the Bulldogs. I said they'd win and advance to the Final Four on Monday in my preview, and I'm sticking with my guns. So, 3 regions down, 1 to go. We're going all the way to the Midwest. We've got Kansas, who weirdly I've had no faith in all year, but of course they win the Big 12 every year, so like they did this year, they will not lose in the first round of the tournament. Seton Hall versus North Carolina State is the next game. Now I've actually, weirdly, kind of like my Florida vibe, been a big fan of North Carolina State all year. This matchup could be the best of the first round period, like throughout the whole bracket. It's a tough one to pick, but I will be siding with North Carolina State. Next up, Clemson versus New Mexico State. I have the Tigers winning that one. Auburn will also advance. I think that's Cal State that they play. Charleston. Sorry, Charleston. TCU versus Syracuse Orange. I don't know why, but I'm not a huge believer of TCU. They haven't wowed a lot all year. They've done things, but I think Syracuse has the best player in that matchup. And usually, if a team's got the best player, that translates to them winning the game in a winner-take-all match. So the Cuse advance to the next round in that one. Bucknell versus the Sparties. Sorry, Bucknell. Spartans are just way too good this year. They could potentially lose in this little section before they get into the round of 16 or 8, but they will not be losing to Bucknell. You watch now, they've said that, they'll lose. Damn it. Rhode Island versus Oklahoma. In game of college basketball this year, it should probably be this game because it could potentially be Trae Young's last game as a college player. his team has just been average all year long, but he's led the nation in scoring and assists, so he could just blow up for like 40 points, 50 points, or something stupid. However, I do not think that he will win first round. Their team's just not good enough. There was rumours that they weren't even going to make the tournament, or that they were going to be in the group of first four, so the Rhode Island Rams get the W, and finally Duke will beat Iona. All right, here's where the fun begins. Like I said, I've not been a believer in the Jayhawks all year, so I'm picking NC State to cause a huge upset. 9 seed beat the 1 seed, first 1 seed to bow out. Then we have Clemson versus Auburn. Auburn started the year on fire. They won like 21 of their first like 23 games or something stupid. But yeah, I don't think that they will beat the Clemson Tigers. Syracuse versus the Sparties. Cuse is solid, but there's a reason that they're the 11th seed. They're not amazing. So I have Michigan State winning that one. And then we got Rhode Island versus Duke, which could be actually a really, really good game. Rhode Island might just cause a boil over there, but I think everyone wants to see Michigan round, so I'm going to stick with that. All right, North Carolina State versus Clemson. Clemson will beat the Wolfpack, ending their dream little run there. The Spartans versus Blue Devils. That's probably the potential like matchup of the tournament. If that comes to fruition, it's like a NBA draft fan's wet dream. There's so many like draft prospects in that. So I have the Spartans just getting over the line against the Blue Devils there. Sorry, Coach K. And then that leaves Clemson and MSU to fight it out for a spot in the Final Four. On Monday, I said that the Spartans would win their region, and today I'm saying the same thing. So that leaves us with a Final Four of Arizona versus Gonzaga and Villanova versus Michigan State. So of those games, I think that Villanova versus Michigan State could really go either way. They're both arguably two of the best whole teams that we've seen this season. It's a real tough one to pick, that one. But I think Michigan State will prevail. Arizona versus Gonzaga. Gonzaga came runner-up last year to North Carolina in the national championship game. And even though they make another Final Four, I think Arizona will make the national championship game. So, for all the marbles, Arizona Wildcats versus the Michigan State Spartans. Huge game. Hopefully, this is the correct prediction. On Monday, I said that Michigan State would be playing Virginia, but in the national championship game. But as I said before, Arizona will be beating Virginia in the Sweet 16. Yes, Sweet 16. Honestly, in a championship game, things could go any which way. I do think that the Spartans have a couple of dudes who are probably a bit more level-headed. A couple of juniors and sophomores compared to Arizona. So, like I did with my predictions... No, you know what? I'm sticking with Arizona. Usually the team who has the best player wins the match, right? I said that before. DeAndre Ayton for most outstanding player. Sticking with Zona, and the final score will be 79 to 71. Bang. So there you go. There are the 100% accurate, correct predictions for March Madness. So you probably have enough time to fill out a bracket so that you can win yourself some money before the tourney starts. All right, there you go. My predictions for March Madness 2018. Fingers crossed they're all right, but I'm sure everyone has those aspirations. Let's be honest, this tournament is a complete random occurrence every year. It's one of my favourite sporting events of the year, though, so I do love seeing all the upsets and all the iconic moments. Yeah, I'm going to put the link in the bio for this video to my whole bracket, so you can compare it to yours and track it, see how I go throughout the whole tournament. Like I said at the lead off of the video, make sure that you hit up sportsbyfry.com to read not only the article that I did on Monday for the whole NCAA tournament preview, but today I published a piece on the best individual runs just by players. So some pretty cool, iconic names in that group. Make sure that if you like the video, thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. You can, again, follow me on all relevant forms of social media just by searching Sports by Fry, all one word, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you've liked the video. Until next time, peace.